This is my ranking of games where you're the bad guy that I've played, based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece to trash, depending on how fun the villain gameplay feels, how strong the choices are, and how well the game lets you embrace being evil. Let's get straight into the list. Alpha Protocol casts me as Michael Thornton, a secret agent sent on dangerous assignments involving espionage, surveillance, and political conspiracies. I traveled between different locations, gathered intelligence, hacked security systems, picked locks, and dealt with criminals, mercenaries, and rival agents. Timed dialogue choices played a major role because every conversation could influence alliances, enemies, and future mission outcomes. Instead of following a clear hero path, I often manipulated people, lied to contacts, used others for information, and made decisions based on mission objectives rather than morality. Stealth was encouraged through sneaking, avoiding guards, and using gadgets, though firefights could erupt when operations went wrong. Character progression allowed me to improve combat, stealth, and technical skills, creating different approaches to missions. Looking back at my experience, this game lands in the good tier. Deltarune lets me control Chris, a human teenager who enters strange, dark worlds alongside Susie and Ralsei. On the surface, I was helping save these worlds, but the story slowly suggested that my control over Chris was not always welcome. Battles mixed turn-based combat with bullet-dodging sections where I had to avoid enemy attacks in real time. Instead of defeating every enemy, I could use different act commands, solve their problems, and spare them peacefully. Exploring towns, talking to characters, finding secrets, and making choices revealed more about the connection between Chris and the player. As the chapters continued, themes of control, freedom, and manipulation became more important. Even while completing heroic goals, I often felt like an outside force interfering with someone else's life. This one rises into my excellent tier. Tyranny places me in the role of a Fatebinder, an official serving the powerful ruler Kairos after most of the world has already been conquered. Rather than leading a rebellion against evil, I enforced laws, settled disputes, and decided the fate of people living under an oppressive regime. The story regularly presented difficult choices involving loyalty, punishment, war, and political conflict between rival factions. My decisions shaped relationships, altered regions, and influenced how different groups viewed my authority. Exploration, dialogue, and party-based combat followed a classic isometric RPG style, while a skill system improved abilities based on how often I used them. Many quests offered no clear good outcome, forcing me to choose between harsh alternatives that still benefited the ruling power. By the end, this stands proudly in my excellent tier. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous starts with a demonic invasion threatening the land, and my character quickly became a key figure in the war against the Abyss. While the main story pushed me towards saving the world, the Mythic Path system allowed me to gain incredible powers and follow darker routes that placed ambition above heroism. I built my character from a huge selection of classes, abilities, and skills, then led a party through massive quests, difficult battles, and political conflicts. Decisions affected companions, factions, and important story outcomes throughout the campaign. Large-scale crusade management added another layer where I commanded armies and expanded influence across the map. As my power continued to grow, some choices felt less like protecting people and more like shaping the world according to my own will. This one secures a place in my great tier. Baldur's Gate 3 begins with a Mind Flayer parasite lodged in my character's head, forcing me into a dangerous journey across the Sword Coast. Every major quest, conversation, and battle offered multiple ways to proceed, allowing me to solve problems through combat, persuasion, deception, intimidation, or manipulation. The turn-based combat system rewarded planning, positioning, spell combinations, and creative use of the environment. As my adventure continued, I could embrace the parasite's power, betray allies, manipulate factions, and make choices that placed personal ambition above helping others. Companion relationships played a huge role because every decision affected trust, loyalty, and future story outcomes. The world reacted constantly to my actions, creating consequences that carried across entire acts. Few games offered this much freedom, and it ultimately claims a spot in my masterpiece tier. Detroit Become Human follows 3 androids named Connor, Marcus, and Kara as their lives become connected during a growing conflict between humans and machines. Each chapter placed me in control of a different character, with choices shaping relationships, future events, and even who survived the story. Exploration was important because finding clues, examining objects, and paying attention to details could unlock new options later. Many scenes relied on quick decisions where hesitation or mistakes could completely change the outcome. While the story often explored freedom and identity, I could also push characters toward violence, manipulation, and actions that escalated the conflict. The branching narrative constantly reacted to my choices, creating different paths and endings. Few games made my decisions feel this important, which is why it belongs in my masterpiece tier. Dishonored puts me in the role of Corvo Attano, a bodyguard framed for the murder of an empress and forced to survive in a city filled with corruption, plague, and political schemes. Each mission functioned like a sandbox, allowing me to sneak across rooftops, possess animals, teleport through guarded areas, or confront enemies directly. The story revolved around revenge, but the game constantly gave me choices about how far I was willing to go. I could eliminate targets, leave them alive through alternative solutions, or manipulate situations to achieve the same result without direct violence. Powers, upgrades, and hidden collectibles encouraged experimentation, while different approaches changed the state of the world around me. Few games made being an assassin this flexible, which is why it comfortably sits in my excellent tier. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader places me in command of a powerful rogue trader dynasty with authority over worlds, fleets, and countless lives across the Coronis expanse. Instead of struggling to survive as an ordinary adventurer, I acted as a noble ruler, making decisions that affected entire colonies and populations. The story mixed political intrigue, exploration, and conflicts involving chaos cults, alien races, and rival powers. Turn-based combat rewarded careful positioning, powerful abilities, and teamwork between a diverse group of companions. Outside battles, I managed colonies, expanded influence, and shaped the future of my protectorate through major choices. Many situations allowed me to rule through fear, strict imperial law, or personal ambition, often placing power above morality. Looking back on everything it offered, this one belongs in my great tier. The Outer Worlds 2 casts me as an agent traveling between planets while dealing with competing factions, political conflicts, and corporate interests across a large sci-fi setting. Most of my time was spent exploring settlements, completing quests, talking with companions, and deciding how to handle different situations through combat, dialogue, stealth, or skill checks. Character progression encouraged me to specialize because choices carried long-term consequences and could not easily be reversed. Many missions offered multiple solutions, letting me persuade people, bypass encounters, steal valuable items, or fight my way through problems. Companion interactions added extra context to events, while reputation systems tracked how different groups viewed my actions. Even when trying to help people, I often manipulated outcomes to serve my own goals and interests. It finds its place in my great tier. Infamous 2 follows Cole McGrath after his defeat against a powerful enemy, sending him to the city of New Mirai in search of greater abilities. Traversing the city felt fast and fluid because I could climb buildings, grind across power lines, and move through environments using electrical powers. Combat mixed ranged attacks, melee strikes, and destructive abilities that became stronger through upgrades earned from missions and exploration. The story constantly presented moral choices that influenced relationships, unlocked different powers, and changed how people reacted to me. I could act as a protector or embrace a more ruthless path, shaping major events throughout the campaign. Side activities, collectibles, and character progression all connected naturally to my growth, making every task feel worthwhile. This one easily charges its way into my excellent tier. That's my ranking of games where being the bad guy is just as rewarding as being the hero. The best ones didn't just allow evil choices, they fully committed to them. Thanks for watching.